Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and I.
Hey, everyone.
Today we're exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan. He's the CEO of CDML.
Right, CDML, they're an MSP based out in Queens, New York. They handle a whole range of IT services.
Yeah, things like network management, VoIP, cybersecurity, compliance, cloud services. Basically the works, especially Microsoft 365 and Azure.
So if you're running a small business or maybe you manage IT for a growing company, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
So there's this common idea out there among small and mid-sized business owners, right? That these really big, sophisticated cyber attacks, the nation state kind, they're only aimed at governments or huge corporations.
Yeah, you think, why would they possibly care about my little operation?
Exactly, but that assumption, well, it seems increasingly like it's just not accurate anymore.
And that's really the core of what we're digging into. There's recent research from Broadcom's Symantec threat hunter team.
Oh, yeah, Dark Ritting reported on that.
Right. And they basically said thinking you're too small to be a target is, and this is their phrase, dangerously misplaced.
It's pretty stark language, and what's really interesting, a key thing they found, the vast majority of organizations actually getting hit by nation states. They're private sector.
Okay.
And most of those are in the middle market. It's not just the giants anymore, not by a long shot.
So wait, why? Why this shift? Why are these, top-tier attackers going after businesses that aren't household names?
Well, the blog post we're looking at, Len's post, it talks about SMBs being these sort of overlooked links.
Links and what?
In complex supply chains. Think about it.
Right.
A lot of smaller businesses provide really specialized things, components, services to much larger companies.
Okay, so the big company might have Fort Knox security.
Right. Really tough to crack directly. But maybe their smaller supplier doesn't have quite the same level of defense. It's like, ignoring the side door because the front gate looks imposing.
So the SMB becomes the way in. The blog calls them low-hanging fruit, which sounds a bit worrying.
It is worrying. For the attackers, it's about efficiency. Why bang your head against the wall trying to breach the big target directly when you can find an easier way in through a partner?
Makes sense.
The research even mentioned how getting into one small company can lead them to someone who's providing something, to someone who's providing something. It's a chain reaction.
A path to the bigger prize through a less guarded route. And Len's post points out this isn't entirely new, right? Even back in 2024, smaller suppliers were seeing attacks.
Yeah, the focus just wasn't always on them in the headlines. So for you listening, the question becomes, do you know how your business fits into that bigger picture? Could you be a target, not for yourself, but as a step towards someone else?
That's a heavy thought. And it's not just about being a pathway, is it? The blog also really hits hard on ransomware.
Oh, absolutely. The ransomware threat for SMBs is massive. The stats mentioned from Sophos are pretty jaw-dropping.
What were they again?
Something like 70% of security incidents at small businesses involved ransomware.
70%.
And for mid-sized firms, it jumps to 90%. 90.
That's almost everything. And for a small business, getting hit with ransomware isn't just an IT problem. It could be an extinction-level event, right?
Totally. It can shut you down completely. Plus, the ransom demands themselves, they can be devastating if you're not prepared.
And the attackers themselves are getting trickier. The blog mentions this moonlighting thing with nation-state actors. What's that about?
Yeah, the lines are blurring. It used to be maybe, espionage was separate from pure cybercrime.
Stealing secrets versus stealing money.
Exactly. But now we're seeing the same groups doing both. They might be gathering intelligence one day and deploying ransomware the next, maybe even using one activity to cover up the other.
Which makes defending against them even harder, I guess. You don't know the real motive.
Precisely. Is it money? Is it data? Is it disruption? It complicates the whole picture.
Okay, so acknowledging all this, the supply chain risk, the ransomware, the blended threats, it can feel a bit much. What can a small business realistically do?
Well, the good news, and the blog stresses this, is that effective defenses are available, and they're often more affordable than you might think.
Like what? Give us the practical stuff.
Okay, top of the list, almost always, multi-factor authentication, MFA.
The second code on your phone, that kind of thing.
Yep. It's like needing 2 keys to unlock the door. Even if they steal your password, they still need that second factor. It's a huge barrier.
Simple but effective.
What else? Then you've got technologies like EDR, endpoint detection and response. Think of it as advanced antivirus for your computers and servers.
Yeah.
It's constantly looking for suspicious stuff.
And it can stop things like ransomware before they lock everything up.
That's the goal, yeah. To detect and isolate threats quickly. And if you don't have a big IT team in-house,
which many SMBs don't.
then managed detection and response, MDR, is a great option. That's where you have experts monitoring things 24/7 like an outsourced security operations center.
Okay, EDR, MDR, these sound like enterprise tools. Are they really within reach for smaller players?
They absolutely can be, especially as Lens Post points out, if you partner with a good managed service provider, an MSP.
Like CDML, the author's company.
Right. An MSP can bring those enterprise-grade tools and the expertise to manage them. But scaled for an SMB's budget and needs, they make it accessible.
Makes sense. Any other key steps?
Yes, definitely look at your own supply chain. Who do you rely on? Do they have decent security? It's a two-way street.
Good point.
And finally, the basics still matter. Regularly patching your internet-facing gear, firewalls, VPNs, anything that touches the outside world. Attackers love unpatched vulnerabilities.
So it's not about being impenetrable, maybe, but about being a much tougher target, taking those steps.
Exactly that. It's about raising the bar, making it harder and more costly for them to come after you.
So the blog really wraps up by saying don't wait.
Right. It encourages contacting CDML for a security assessment. The idea is to be proactive, shore up your defenses before something happens.
And if people want to do that or just read more?
The contact page is cdml.com/contact. Easy enough.
Okay, cdml.com/contact. And the blog itself.
That's at cdml.com/blog-2. Lots of good stuff there.
Great. And they also have videos?
Yep, blogcasts on YouTube. Just search for CDML Computer Services.
Perfect. So lots of resources.
Absolutely. I think the final thought, really, for anyone listening running a business, is that this isn't theoretical anymore.
No.
The threat landscape has changed. You're potentially in the game now, whether you like it or not. So thinking about what a supply chain hit or a ransomware attack could do to your business, taking those proactive security steps, it's really not just optional anymore. It's becoming table stakes for survival.